Traying, traying. The alarm dragged me out of sleep. I blinked, sat up, and the first thing I did was grab my right pocket. I let out a breath of relief when I felt the space pocket still there. It wasn't a dream, I muttered to myself. Yesterday had been so unreal that I'd half convinced myself I'd imagined it all. Outside, the sky was only faintly lit. Dawn hadn't fully broken yet. Rhea was already awake, cooking with Ashlyn's help. That surprised me. Until now, I was always the one doing the cooking. Most of the spices I brought were already used up. Only a bit of salt remained, enough for maybe 3 days at best. By the time I finished freshening up, the surroundings were clearly visible. Rhea and Ashlyn were still roasting the hog over the fire. Yesterday, while we were looking for a campsite, we'd run into a peak specialist gray hog. Rhea had killed it in a few minutes with the help of her new night-grade shoes and sword. With those 2 night-grade artifacts, her strength had more than doubled. Now she could bring down peak specialist-grade monsters in under 5 minutes. Choo-choo, Ashlyn chirped proudly as she maintained the flames for Rhea's cooking. I thought I'd cook today, and your little birdie offered to help. Who am I to refuse? Rhea said with a smile. Choo-choo, Ashlyn cried again, this time clearly fishing for praise. Ashlyn is such a good girl, I said, reaching over to gently stroke her feathers. She chirped in delight, then immediately went back to her usual indifferent act. 15 minutes later, the hog was fully cooked. I tore off a piece of meat, took a bite, and was surprised by how good it tasted, even with just salt. It's really tasty, I said, genuinely impressed. Thanks. I picked it up here and there, Rhea said casually. After we finished eating, we packed up the remaining meat for the night. Judging by how much we had left, we probably wouldn't need to cook again this evening. We didn't cover much distance yesterday, Rhea said, looking over the map. I nodded. Yesterday, we'd spent most of our time helping Sean and Carol, so we hadn't moved much toward our actual destination. At this pace, we'll need 2 days, 3 at most, to reach the lake. Hopefully we'll find some people there, Rhea added. We definitely will, I replied. Going home was the most important thing. This realm was good for training, but as long as we didn't have a reliable way back, that uncertainty would always sit in our hearts and slowly drive us crazy. We resumed our journey, walking as usual and killing any monsters that try to block our path. Our spirits were high, still riding the fortune we'd made yesterday. There is only one truly dangerous place between us and the lake, a small valley we had to pass through. We didn't have a choice. If we tried to go around it, it would take nearly a week to reach the lake, and we couldn't afford to waste that much time. Since yesterday, I've been pushing my refinement engine harder than ever. Rhea's skill also required 80% mana purity, and she'd already reached that threshold before we entered this realm. She said she'd be able to perform her new skill within a week of practice. I wouldn't be far behind. I'd already started studying the same skill. If my luck held and my mana purity reached the required level in about 10 days, I'd be able to use it too. Time passed as we moved forward, and eventually we got close enough to see the valley in the distance. At our current pace, we'd reach it in a little over an hour. We'd already decided to camp near the valley today and enter it tomorrow. Crossing it would probably take us the entire day, if not longer. Choo-choo-choo, Ashlyn called out suddenly. We looked over and saw a feline-type monster approaching us. It was about half a meter long, with aqua-white stripes running along its coat. This realm had many beasts we couldn't identify, creatures that didn't appear in any of our records. Choo-choo-choo, Ashlyn chirped again, clearly indicating she wanted to fight. She'd already asked several times before, and I'd refused, not wanting to waste time. But now that we were close to the valley and reasonably safe for the moment, I decided to give in. All right, you can fight, but finish it quickly, I said. Choo-choo, she cried happily, then shot forward toward the feline monster. Rhea and I stepped back to watch from a distance. Boom! Ashlyn fired a fireball at the feline, but it dodged nimbly and counterattacked with thin water needles that shot out from its fur. I was surprised. This was the first monster I'd seen here that could use a water-type ranged attack. It was a domain-type ranged skill. If I weren't wearing armor, this thing would be very hard for me to deal with. Ashlyn weaved past the water needles and launched another fireball. Ever since reaching specialist grade, her flames had become deadlier, and her control over them had improved a lot. Her construction time for fireballs had also shortened. The fight turned into a cycle of attack and dodge. Neither side managed to land a serious hit. Then Ashlyn shifted her approach. Instead of palm-sized fireballs, she began using fist-sized ones. Because they were smaller, she could form them faster, and the feline monster suddenly had a harder time evading her strikes, despite its agility. Growl! It snarled when one of the fireballs grazed its coat, leaving a singed mark. We thought it would counterattack in anger, but instead it turned tail and ran. It moved so fast it was almost a blur. One moment it was there, the next it was gone. Ashlyn, don't follow it, I shouted as she prepared to chase. Choo-choo, she replied, clearly annoyed. Don't worry, Ashlyn. You'll get plenty of chances to fight once we enter the valley, I said, trying to soothe her. She didn't look entirely satisfied, but she let the feline go. We reached the mouth of the valley about an hour before evening and started looking for a place to camp. This time we were extra careful. We were too close to the valley, and the chances of a corporal-level monster wandering this way were much higher. After a while, we found a decent spot to set up. I was just about to press the button on my camp gear when we noticed two people walking toward us. We tensed up immediately. As they came closer, I got a better look at them. They made an odd pair, one tall and thin, the other short and chubby. The tall one was a peak specialist grade evolver, the short one around mid-specialist. Hello, are you setting up camp here? The tall boy asked. He wasn't exactly handsome, but he had the kind of face that looked harmless and familiar. Yes, we are. Is there a problem? Rhea asked, her tone cautious. It was hard to trust anyone in our situation, especially people who were clearly in the same boat as us. I've been the same when I followed Rhea's signs in the cave. I only relaxed when I confirmed it was really her. Our encounter with Sean and Carol had been different. They hadn't cared about whatever small resources we had. These two, though, were just like us. They'd come from the same place and would definitely care about anything valuable we carried. No problem. We just came to invite you, the tall one said. We both looked at him, waiting for an explanation. You're also trying to cross the valley, right? The chubby youth added. We tried yesterday, but we ran into corporal-level monsters, so we decided to wait for more people before going in again. It'll be safer in a group. I nodded. We'd already guessed we might run into corporal-level beasts, but we hadn't expected there to be many of them in such a small valley. We were just about to cook, the tall one continued. You're welcome to join us. And if we set our camps together, it'll be easier to defend if something unexpected happens. I'm Neil, by the way. This is Andrew. Rhea and I exchanged a quick glance. All right, we both said at the same time. They were right. If a corporal-level monster attacked at night, the two of us alone would have a hard time. With 4 people, our chances increase a lot. Follow us. Our camp isn't far, Neil said, turning around with Andrew. Rhea and I walked behind them. Why do you want to cross the valley? I asked as we walked. We were crossing because of the map we had. Once we passed the valley, there would be a lake ahead that was likely a gathering spot for other survivors. From the way Neil talked, it sounded like they also had a specific destination in mind. That meant they either had a map too, or someone had given them detailed directions. Aren't you heading to Sin Forest? Neil asked. Most people are. Sin Forest, Rhea and I asked together. Sin Forest was one of the 2 great forests in this realm. The one we were currently in was Conrad Forest. Neil pulled a square sheet of paper from his pocket. As he unfolded it, it extended into a map about a foot long. It looked almost identical to ours, but with extra markings. 4 days ago, we saw a rider flying through the sky, dropping these maps, Neil said. They said they'd found an exit out of this realm and told everyone to reach the marked location within 2 weeks. We were both stunned. We had thought we'd only learn anything useful once we reached the small lake. Instead, it seemed Westblood had already started organizing the rescue. Can you show us the map? Rhea asked. I wanted to see it too. If what he said was true, then a path home was already confirmed. All we had to do was get there. Sure, Neil said, handing her the map. We studied it together. The front was a printed map of the realm. On the back was the information Neil had just mentioned. Instructions, timing, and a message about the exit. There was even an official government seal on it, the kind that wasn't easy to forge. "Thank you," Rhea said, carefully handing the map back. Sin Forest was in another region of the realm. To reach it from Conrad Forest, we would have to travel through the wasteland. For days had already passed. That left us with 10 days. If we could cross the valley in 2, we'd have 8 days to reach the wasteland. Judging by the distance, I was confident we could get there in 6 as long as nothing major went wrong. Even if unexpected trouble cropped up, we'd still have a cushion of 2 days. As long as we passed the valley safely, I doubted we'd face anything too overwhelming in the wasteland. Soon, we arrived at Neil and Andrew's camp. They had found a better spot than we had, one that was more defensible if monsters attacked. Their tent was also much better than mine. It was a proper Grade 1 camp, whereas mine barely qualified. Their camp could even withstand a corporal-level monster, as long as they had enough corporal-level core crystals to power it. It was black, sturdy, and large enough for 10 people to sleep inside comfortably. "You don't need to pitch your own camp. You can sleep in ours," Neil offered when he saw me taking out my camping gear. "It's all right. We don't want to impose," I said firmly. He didn't insist after that. We'd already agreed earlier that, no matter how friendly they seemed, we weren't going to share a tent with people we'd just met. As Rhea was about to start preparing food, Neil invited us again to eat with them. This time we accepted. Andrew, despite his chubby build, was surprisingly skilled at cooking. He handled everything with practiced ease. Soon the food was ready, and everyone gathered to eat. As always, the first to dig in was little glutton Ashlyn, who earned a round of laughter with her impatient antics. Neil's monster was an iron hog, a higher-ranked species of searing hog. It was a Class 9 strain monster, known for its explosive temper. "Andrew, where's your monster?" I asked, noticing he hadn't summoned it. "It's resting. It got badly injured yesterday," he said. After dinner, we went over the route and made plans for tomorrow. Both Neil and Andrew had already stepped into the valley once, so their information was useful. We returned to our own camp about an hour later. We decided that one person would stay on watch in 2-hour shifts throughout the night to guard against any surprise attacks. Rhea volunteered to take the first watch. I agreed and lay down to sleep, knowing she would wake me after a few hours once she and her monster had finished their turn standing guard.
Hey everyone, Firescale Audiobooks here. If there's a novel you'd love to hear more of, you can support us on Patreon or Ko-fi. Depending on your tier, I'll make extra parts just for the stories you're most excited about. Usually I can only upload 4 to 5 parts of each novel, but with your support, we can go beyond that. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps more than you know.
I was woken by Rhea 4 hours later for the watch. I washed my face with cold water to wake myself from the half-awake state. There's still a few hours till dawn. I decided to study the skill to pass the time. Blazing Strikes is really amazing skill. First, I thought it would just like throwing concentrated fire arrows through certain method, but I was wrong. This skill, much more than that. As I kept studying it, I have come to know the true value of this skill. If I am able to successfully master this skill to the end, my mana manipulation will reach a completely different level. The swirling fireballs, which are still taking me second to contract, will be made by with the thought. With absolute mastery over this skill, I will be able to deliver thousands of blazing arrows every moment, which will be comparable to high-level night-level skill. Hours passed by as I got immersed in studying the skill. I didn't even notice when the sky is brightening. I only come out my immersion when I felt movement beside me. It is Rhea, who had woken up, nodding toward me. She left to freshen up. I closed the folder, seeing studies enough. Ashlyn still hasn't woken up. This glutton really ate a lot last night. She asked for the second plate after she finished her first, and now she will wake up late because she overate. I quickly freshen up, seeing there is only an hour before the time of leaving. When I went outside the camp, I found that chubby Andrew is already cooking the food, and Rhea is talking to Neil, asking him about monsters they encountered in the valley. "Good morning," said chubby Andrew. I reciprocate his greeting and sit beside him to watch him cook. Andrew is a really good cook, his food comparable to which I get in my apartment. He had all types of cooking instruments, condiments, and spices for cooking. When I asked him yesterday how did he learn such good cooking, he said he had taken classes. I got quite surprised hearing that. Adventurers rarely learned anything other than combat-related classes. Tasting is cooking. I also decided to take weekly cooking classes after I got out of this realm. Soon Andrew finished cooking and started to make plates. Seeing Ashlyn still hasn't come out the tent. "Excuse me, I'll bring Ashlyn," I said and walked back into my camp to wake up Ashley. "Ashlyn, wake up," I said while shaking her awake. "Choo-choo." Ashlyn chirped annoyedly, asking why do I waking up her so early. I stilled suddenly. Isn't her emotion way too clear? Ever since she leveled up to specialist grade, her intelligence increased by far compared to normal specialist grade monsters. Normally, any specialist grade bonded monster's intelligence could be compared 2 years child, and it increased as time passed, or it leveled up. But Ashlyn intelligence is currently compared to the 3 years child, and only corporal grade bonded monsters have the intelligence of a 3-year-old child. I sighed. It is not the time to think about such a heavy subject. I hit her head lightly and said, "It's already early morning. Don't you want to eat?" "Chew." Just as I said food, she became active again, forgetting she was still in half-sleep moment ago. "Let's go." I pick her in my hands and get out of the camp. The plates were already served, and they were waiting for us come. I even water coming Ria's stone panda. I took the seat and placed Ashlyn beside me, and about to eat the food. Choo-choo-choo. Ashlyn chirped, loudly cautioning me to not to eat the food. I've never felt Ashlyn emotion so serious. "Ria, don't eat," I said loudly. Ria's hand stopped as she was about to take the bite. Not only her monster also stopped. She must have stopped her monster from taking the bite. "Is there something wrong with it?" she asked. I nodded while her right hand reached near her right pocket without anyone noticing. "What's the meaning of this?" Andrew said angrily. "You tell us. What did you add in the food?" I asked back. I completely trust Ashlyn's judgment, especially when it comes to food. She was even able to smell the miracle fruit compare to that whatever that in the fruit not worth mentioning. "Do you think we did something with the food?" said Neil accusingly. I am definitely sure something is wrong with the food, and there's no one but these two who could do something to food. We stayed silent to Neil's question and just stared at them, a quietly demanding answer. "We have nothing but hospitable ever since we met you. We invited you to our camp and even shared our food with yesterday. And now you are accusing us of poisoning food? Just because your monster didn't like it," said Andrew vehemently. "Forget it, Andrew. This may just be a big understanding. Some ingredient in the dish that must have ticked the monster." Neil said a sad expression could be seen on both of their faces. Our friends didn't seem to believe us. "Might as well eat the food to assure them," he said, and both of them started to eat food in front of them. Looking at them eating, I even doubted Ashlyn's sense for the moment, but soon squashed it. I asked Ashlyn many times telepathically if she had made a mistake regarding food, but she is quite adamant about how she is right, and something is definitely wrong with the food. "Look, we are eating and nothing happens to us," said Neil while eating. Ria looked at me, asking me the next course of action. I am quite relieved seeing she has still trusted me. "Ask Dee Dee to catch the small monster and have her taste food?" I asked. "You got to be kidding me. You still didn't believe us even after we ate in front of you?" Andrew said, anger seeing Dee Dee walking in the trees. "Neil, Andrew, I know it won't feel good to you, but I trust Ashlyn immensely, and there may be some problem in the ingredient which had a problem. It's better be cautious. And if she is wrong, I will profusely apologize to you and compensate you," I said. They didn't say anything, and we sat in uncomfortable silence. Suddenly, all changed. Neil, Andrew, and their monsters suddenly. Thank God. We were already ready. "Bam!" rang out as defended Andrew's attack with my shield. I had already worn my shield bracelet when Ashlyn told when something wrong with the food, and now they suddenly attacked. I quickly activated my shield at moment notice, while Ria dodged Neil and his monster's attack with the help of her night-grade shoes. Hee. Andrew, these two, quite smart. Looks like we have to do this old way. You should now summon your monster. There's no use hiding it now," said Neil while laughing weirdly. "You're right, Neil. It's no use hiding it now," he said and summoned his monster. Our eyes went wide when we saw the monster, and everything fell back in place because Andrew monster is tricolored poison toad, tricolored poison frog. This explained it all. No wonder they were able to minx the food without noticing anyone because of its poison is odorless and colorless and could kill those with the same level as it within 10 minutes. They must have mixed poison, tri-colored poison frog in the food and had eaten antidote before, so it couldn't affect them. Such clever planning. If not being for Ashlyn sensing something, we would have laid on the floor dying. You caught us. But no worries, we kill you and take all of your things and might as well have some fun with you if you were in one piece, said Andrew. His words were especially directed at Rhea. Enough talking, Andrew. Quickly finish them off. We only have 10 days to reach the Sin Forest. Neil snapped, and both of them attacked us at unison. Clank! As Andrew and my swords clashed, I felt a heavy shock in my arms. I got quite startled. Clank! I felt heavy shock traveling through my arms as Andrew and my swords clashed. I barely able to keep myself from taking a step back. Fortunately, I started to circulate the supreme combat exercise as soon as Ashlyn said something is wrong with the food. Still, I felt the heavy shock in my hand, even after circulating 24th move of the exercise. I think that was just casual strike from Andrew, just to test my power, and I was right. Clank! Thud! I have to take the step back to neutralize the blow. Andrew laughed, and his attacks became even faster. Sizzle! I heard the burning sound. Tricolored poison frog didn't have any offensive except for spitting poison, and now that frog is busy with Ashlyn. The frog would have easily dealt with a monster the same level, but it can do anything to Ashlyn despite Ashlyn being one level lower than it. No matter how much it tried to attack Ashlyn, she is easily dodging it with a flap of her wings. Ashlyn has been constantly attacking it with mini fireballs, not giving it any chance to attack me. Hell, it is quite busy trying to survive from the Ashlyn's fireballs. Swish! I dodged Andrew offense and attacked him, but he avoided that quite easily. You made a big mistake sending your monster, said Neil to Rhea gloatingly as he and his monsters attacking constantly while she focused on dodging both of their attacks. Did I? Rhea asked back, and one could be seen Stone Panda Dee is coming toward them. I got pleasantly surprised seeing Dee coming toward the battlefield. Looks like Rhea really didn't send her monster, just asked it to hide in the trees. Neil got quite startled seeing this, but soon got his emotion under control and started to fight earnestly. Where are you looking? Do you find me an easy opponent? Said Andrew, and swung her sword toward me. My heart skipped seeing his sword coming toward me. It was many times faster than his earlier moves. I didn't think much and activated my Knight Grade. Bam! Andrew's sword clashed with my shield. I was quite surprised because except for slight tremor, I didn't quite feel anything. Seeing I am totally fine, without any scratch, Andrew's face is contorted, which looked extremely ideas which had put a smile on face. He became extremely angry seeing that, and started to attack me in frenzy. Bam, bam, bam! His attacks are so fast that I am having little difficulty moving my shield to counter his attacks. If I haven't had this shield, I would have got fatally injured by now. Looks like your shield is quite special. It will suit very well in my hand, he said with a smile on his, and his left hand moved toward extra sword hilt, which is hanging by his waist. My heart started to beat faster. If he is dual saw or wielder as I'm guessing right now, then I am in big trouble because it would be very hard to counter both his swords with my sword. Soon he activated his second sword and attacked me with it. One sword is coming towards my waist. I cannot dodge the attack of this speed. My only option is to defend it with my sword and shield. Bam! Clank! Crack! Thud, thud, thud. I didn't feel anything when I countered his first sword with my shield, but when his second sword clashes against my shield, I felt like someone hit my hand with a huge hammer. The bone of the shoulder splintered a little with me, taking back more than 10 steps back. Even blood has come into my mouth, but I drink down forcefully. I have been circulating 24th move supreme combat exercise ever since the fight started and trying to circulate way past it, but every time I do I come across the block, as if giant thick steel wall blocking me, and if I have to circulate past it and create the second seal, I will have to crush that giant steel wall. I didn't even get a moment of rest before I saw Andrew coming towards me with both of his swords. This time I barely dodged his first sword while countering others with my shield, but I was lucky only one, and when he launched another attack, I have no chance of dodge and had countered with my shield and sword. Pooh! I vomit mouthful blood as I got internal injuries through shock and had to take several steps back to defuse the force. Andrew keeps attacking, while I kept attacking giant obstacle to creating the second seal. That's my only chance, or I will die sooner or later. Keep resisting while trying to complete the circulation of the second set of exercise. Bones of both my hands broke, as I had to exchange my sword and shield in my hand, but that was temporary, and within 4-5 moves my other hand's bones also broke. Where do you think your opponent is me? I hear Neil saying from distance. Rhea must have tried to come to my rescue, but stopped by Neil. I kept taking a beating from Andrew to the point. All bones in my arms and legs were broken, and I am having hard keep active my weapons despite that I still trying to break past 24th move as that my only chance. I stood up from the ground as I just took another hit from Andrew and rolled away a few steps. I have to commend you are quite tenacious if I were at your place. I definitely would have asked for a swift death, said Andrew while coming toward me slowly. I know he is toying with me, but still every time he hit me, I stand up and meet his blows head on. I will not give up as long as there is a chance. No matter how much he toyed with me, I'll fight him to the end. Let's see how much you can last, Andrew said with his ugly mouth and swung his both swords toward me. Ah! Without backing down, I screamed loudly and met both of swords with my sword and shield. Screaming my heart out, I moved my shield and sword to counter it. Looking at Andrew's dual swords, I know they are lethal than any other pass moves. Suddenly all slowed down. The dual sword, which seemed fast earlier, had become slow that I can see them piercing through the air so slowly. Not only the swords, but I also become slow. I wanted to move my weapons to counter it, but my body can't seem to follow my lead. In that nearly static time, I have been trying to breach the wall of supreme combat exercise. It is the only candle in the dark that can give me the hope of survival. I could see the blooming, hideous smile of Andrew as our weapons about to clash. I can feel that this clash is going to send me near death. Bam! Crash! Our weapons clashed, and I felt incensed force my body that it flew backward. That force entered my body, injuring my internal organs and breaking my bones, but at that intense shock helped me crash the barrier that had been obstructing me from creating the second seal of exercise. All mana from my body is moving toward my temple. I had nearly 70% mana remaining, but is far from enough to create a seal. Bang! I crashed on the rock, and time turned back to normal. My sword had left my hand, and I turned off became a me losing connection with it. Many bones in my spine had broke, but I didn't think of that, and some reached for my right pocket to remove mana potion. As I am removing mana potion, I saw Andrew coming toward me with victory smile, his slow steps making a crunching sound as he crushed the dried, even with his feet. I removed the potion bottle from my pocket. My face fell when I looked at the bottle. It's the same potion bottle that I found in Space Pouch. I wanted to change the bottle, but seeing Andrew coming toward me, I didn't change it and chugged the bottle. It's no use. No matter how many potion bottles you drink, they are not going to save you from me, said Andrew, who stopped just opposite of me. Crack, he put his left leg on my chest and said, "Why aren't you standing up right now? You were full of spirit second ago." Andrew said with a mocking voice. I didn't say anything and just laid on the ground blinking at him while thinking, why hasn't potion working yet? No matter which type of position it should have shown some signs. If not, I will be in grave danger, as less than 10% mana left in me, and quarter of seal hadn't been formed. Suddenly, as potion reached my stomach, it started to churn, and a huge amount of mana produce from the, I thought I'm going to blast like a balloon, but all my worries were unfounded as seal started to suck all the mana of the potion, but it will take time, and I have to survive till then. You are worthless. Bang, said Andrew, and kicked me full force that I blasted into the tree. This is the 5th time that Andrew kicked me, making my injuries even more serious than I am barely hanging on to my life. Taking a beating is the best course of action. Andrew had a sick mentality. He likes it when people laid helpless before him. He gets some type of release out of it. If I fight back, he will finish me quicker while I act defeated in front of him and let him hit me without fighting back. He will get some sort of sick pleasure out of it. It just has to endure this humiliating beating for a few seconds before the seal is completed. With the finishing off the seal, my injuries would also heal. Take this, you worthless shit. Bang! I received another kick and flew away. As Seal completed, it hummed and started releasing cool, refreshing energy all over my body and started healing my body speedily. My body was so fatally injured that the seal has sucked more mana from my body to heal my injuries. Thank God. The potion I had drunk had more than enough mana. If I had to drink that potion when I was fine, I would have burst like bubble due to excess mana. Bang! Pooh! Andrew again kicked me. This time more than 80% of injuries have been healed, and this will be the last humiliating hit I received from Andrew. And as for that blood, I just vomited. I had been holding it in my mouth for some time and vomited as I received the hit so Andrew wouldn't suspect anything. My whole body had a suit of armor from neck to feet and my face colored with dirt. With such look, it will be hard for Andrew to notice that I nearly did healing. Any other person would have noticed it, but Andrew, who is high on his sick pleasure, barely noticed anything wrong. In a few moments, the cool current healed all injuries on the body, including the one received from an earlier hit. Soon, the cool current of energy stopped from the seal while making my body faster and stronger. Come out my mouth when I noticed that Andrew had stopped on its tracks and looking at the fight between Neil and Rhea. That Neil looked quite pitiful. He had been taking hit after hit. Even his half-skill wasn't doing anything as Rhea is digging it quite skillfully. "What you doing, you fucking fattard?" shouted Neil angrily at Andrew. "I've been holding her back so you could finish him and help me deal with her, but you're still in the mood of having your sick fun?" barked Neil. Andrew wanted to say something, but he again cut off by Neil. "What are you doing standing there like an idiot? Quickly finish him off and help me," said Neil while launching another attack at Rhea, which she effortlessly dodges. "You fucker. Because of you, I had to listen to Neil's cursing. You should just die," said Andrew and come toward me with his dual sword. I quickly got up and removed my knight greatsword from my space pouch as my other sword had flung from my hat. "Looks like you healed from that potion you drank earlier. No matter. You will reach the heaven from my blade in few seconds," said Andrew and swiftly swung both of his swords at me. I activated my sword and shield to counter Andrew's swords. This time I'm using my knight greatsword the first time. I modified it according to my need. It is still a katana. It is around 80 centimeters and slightly more curved than the sword than normal katana. I'm really excited to see if it is as good as my shield. I really want to beat the shit of this Andrew for humiliating hits he had given me. Bam! Clank! Our weapons clash, and except for a little shock from my sword, I didn't feel anything. "Ow! How do you?" he asked stammeringly. I didn't reply to his question and swing my sword toward him. Andrew is slightly stronger than normal medium-level specialist grade revolvers. He was able to beat me to the half-dead state because he is one level above me. If we were the same level, I would have easily beaten him. Clang! 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 Andrew and I keep clashing our weapons without one getting upper hand. Seeing he is not having upper hand in battle like earlier when he absolutely crushed me, his fat face became even more ugly than it was. "I should have never given you a chance to drink that potions, but no worries. This time I will make you experience such pain that you will beg for death," he said with a cruel smile. Both of his sword hands turned green, and dense green liquid started to come out of them. The green liquid started to ascend and started coating both his swords green. I watched in horror as few drops of green liquid fell and touched the grass below. As the green drops touched the grass, it withered with extreme speed and returned to earth. I am quite horror-struck seeing that. Really what people said is right. The poison of tricolor poison frog is really dangerous. Thank God. That Ashland is a flying monster, or it would be in deep trouble because of this poison. He looked like a villain from movies, with his ugly face in his hands and covered with nauseous green liquid. Hee. Let's see how you survive this," said Andrew and attacked me with his dual swords. Except feeling fear for a moment, I contrived my emotions and lightened my sword and shield. My weapons are completely covered in fire. Fire is the best weapon against poison. It will be able to burn it before it could even reach me. As Andrew, swords coming toward me, leaving drops of poisonous green drops behind its wakes. I'm safe in all my body except for my face. I have to be careful of that green poison, or my face would also face consequences of that withered grass. Clank! As our weapons clashed, the green poison the swords of Andrew started to burn as it comes in contact with my fire. Some drips of poison did come toward my body, but most of it blocked my armor, while some drops coming toward my face were dodged by me. "Son of a bitch!" cursed Andrew and started to attack me ferociously. His attacks I defended. Sometimes I barely able to defend my face against it. I missed to defend against, and one drop of poison passed by my defense and touched my neck. Thank God. It was an only small drop, except for hurting like hell. It wasn't able to do anything. If I hadn't had created the 2 seals of the exercise, it would have been a lot more serious. Still, I have to be careful. If a large amount of this poison touched my body, I will be a dead man. He kept attacking me, and I kept defending, and to keep using my fire ability, I've been burning mana like crazy. I thought I would maximum have 50% mana left, but I got quite surprised seeing there's more than 90% mana left in my body. I was quite surprised at first, but on careful checking, I noticed that the mana I kept burning were from potion bottle, which I had to drink earlier, and I have been using that leftover mana from the potion. Only 10-something minutes earlier did I started to use my own mana. It gives me quite surprised and fearful. Seeing mana potion I drank earlier was high grade. If I had drunk in the normal times, I would have definitely experienced some repercussions. "You idiot fat ass. Do you want dead?" Neil's voice sounded from the distance. "Quickly finish him and help me, or we both will reach the heaven today." He sounded quite panicky. When I looked towards him for a moment, I was quite shocked seeing his condition. He looked really pitiful, and looking at his gait, Rhea much broken several of his bones. His condition is a little better than me, and if this keeps going on, his condition won't be worse than mine. You can count yourself fortunate to first to die by skill," said Andrew, but before he could do anything, I attacked him. "Idiot. Didn't tell your opponent what you going to do before doing it." I attacked him with all my strength without giving him any time to perform a skill. It's no use," said Andrew with a laugh, and light grease smoke started to cover his body, and suddenly he attacked. His speed is nearly double than before. He came so fast that I am barely able to counter his moves. Clang! Thud, thud, thud! The shock I felt through the collision was so strong that I had to take several steps back, and it was not over. "Let's see how you survive next strike," said and attacked me again this time. Without thinking, I enlarged the size of the shield to the same size, as so it could cover the whole me. These night-grade artifacts usually take 5 times less mana than normal, but if one wants to increase their power or size from the normal, they need shitload of mana for that. That is why last time I didn't increase my shield size, and the second reason that it would evoke the greed from Andrew, and I was not powerful enough to protect my possession earlier. I can only maintain this size of a shield for 15 to 20 minutes before going out of mana. Andrew didn't wait for a moment and attacks the second time. This time, he is even more faster than last time. Bam! Thud, 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 thud. As the sword and my shield touched, I felt an immense force ran through my body. I have to take several steps back to dissolve the force lest it injures my internal organs. But just as I was taking steps back, Andrew comes toward me, this time even faster, so faster than I barely able to see his figure. Just saw a body, which is cloaked in faint green smoke. I move my shield as I am taking steps backward. This attack of Andrew going to be very dangerous. Bon! Crack! Poo! Thud, thud, thud. It all happened at the moment. As his sword hit my shield, I felt like a truck crashed into me. Both of my hands, which is holding the shield for better leverage, had some bones broken. My internal organs got injured that I had to vomit blood. I barely able to control myself to flew like cannonball because of the blow. My night grade shield is very good at defense. It would barely shake when Andrew attacked at his full strength, but the skill he had just used now made his attacks very strong. The attack I just felt was 3 times stronger than his normal attacks. If he attacks one more time with a more aggressive attack, I don't think I can handle it. When I looked up, I got very startled seeing Andrew as he is drinking a mana potion. He looked completely different from earlier. His skin lost a glow and he looked little thing. He threw the potion bottle and came attacking me again. I heaved a sigh of relief, seeing his attack looks only twice stronger than his normal attack. That means the skill he is using can only attack with 3 moves. Every move is 1 time stronger than last. This quite fearful skill, if he had 5 moves, I would have definitely finished at the 5th move. The first move, I easily endured. At second move, I had to take a few steps back and drink back the blood that came to my throat, and at third move, I barely able to save myself being cannon. But this I saw Andrew. My mind is completely blown. His skin looked sickly yellow, and he became even thinner. Now he just looked like a little fatter than normal kinds. I wiped my bloody mouth from my hand sleeve and ran toward the Andrew, who was drinking a potion with shaking the hand. Seeing me running toward him, Andrew directly swallows the potion bottle to defend against my sword. Clang! Hush! As our sword clashed, due to shock or weakness, his sword from the right hand left flung away. I saw him activating his shield, and it started forming slowly, but before it could fully be formed, I swung my sword toward his neck unconsciously. Hook! My sword stabbed in Andrew's neck, and next moment I am completely stilled. Like a statue, not even a single muscle in my body moved. Thud! The body of Andrew with my sword in its neck fell on the ground, but I lay standing on the ground, without moving. I killed a person. I screamed in my mind. I had never killed a person ever before. He was just waking talking person a few minutes ago. I never thought what I would feel when killing a person, but now that I killed a person, I felt nothing. Nothing. And that is what makes me fear. I don't want a person who kills a person without emotion. Killing a monster is a different thing. We were taught from the childhood that killing a monster is a good thing and killing a human is a bad thing. But now that I had just killed Andrew, I feel nothing. No guilt, anger, pleasure, pain, nothing, and that is scaring the hell out of me. I have read many times that after one kill a person, one would feel some sort of emotion. Even for a moment one would feel something, but I am feeling nothing. Choo-choo. Ashlyn woke me out of my stupor. She is feeling worried about me. I am fine. I reassure her and patted her silver wings. Did you finish that tricolored poison frog? I asked. Choo-choo-choo-choo. She chirped in succession, but I clearly understood her. She is saying that when fighting that monster earlier, it suddenly fell unconscious, and she didn't kill it since I told her that not to kill it if possible. I nodded after listening to her. Monster or person always receive a severe shock when their partner dies. Some even fell unconscious or died when the bond is severed. Tricolored poison frog, very special and rare monster. They have class 9 strain, but that's not the specialty of them. Partner of tricolored poison snake can gain a new type of poison ability every 3 levels if Andrew had been at corporal grade. He surely had had another poison ability in that time. It would have been very hard to kill him. The reason I asked Ashlyn to keep it alive because I want to sell that monster to the alchemists or potioners. The body of tricolored is very high in demand, and alive, even worth more so much that I will bear a very dangerous monster in my backpack. I gave the body of the monster and look and gaze toward the fight Rhea and Neil far away. Neil had become even more pitiful than earlier despite using a skill that Andrew had used earlier, but his body didn't show any serious effects that Andrew's body showed despite using constantly against Rhea. Both of them wholehearted fighting each other without looking toward my direction. I quickly take out my sword from the ground and activated my shield again to guard against contingencies. Neil may go mad and attack me seeing his friend die by my hand. Being ready, I will at least survive if he attacked me. If fight going in this pace, Neil is going to lose sooner than later. The fight continued on for near half an hour before Neil looked toward my direction. Andrew, you fucktard. Come help him. Neil shouted, but then he noticed Andrew's dead body near me. A look of intense anger come across his face, and I thought for sure that he will come to kill me to take revenge for his friend, but he suddenly bolted to the opposite direction. But just as he turned to run away toward the opposite direction, Rhea come opposite of him, as if knowing he will run away and swiftly attack. The first attack barely dodges by Andrew, but the second attack hit him heavily on his spine, injuring him so fatally that he fell directly. As he fell, Rhea attacked him. As his injuries were already quite heavy, and when he fell on the ground, he had become vegetable on the chopping board. Rhea killed him without wasting any time by slicing his neck. He didn't have the chance to say a word before he was dead. Seeing Neil is dead, I deactivated my weapons, ran toward Rhea, who sat on a clean spot for the rest. Thank you. If not for your warning, I would be dead right now, said Rhea as patted Ashlyn. Choo-choo. Ashlyn chirped arrogantly with her head high. We both laughed seeing her acting like that. After resting enough, we started to remove artifacts from Micheal and check his pockets. We found several things, but one thing made most happy is thumb-size square, which has thousands of runes drawn. We quickly scanned this with our holowatches. This thumb-size square contains skill, probably the same skill used by Andrew and Neil. 9 Raging Tides is grade 1 skill. This skill could multiply the user's strength 1 time, the original by every tide. My mouth dropped open when I thought about power it will create in 9th Strike. It will 9th times of the original. That's huge. But not all sunshine and roses in these skills. Its conditions were dangerous and strict. 9 Raging Tides can be performed by anyone, but if one didn't satisfy its condition, then his condition would turn just like Andrew. Only after reading its condition did I able to understand the extent of Andrew's condition. This skill is a little different than normal skill. One will need to immense vitality with mana, and what better source of vitality than seals made from supreme combat exercise. This skill divided into 3 parts of 3 tides. If one wants to perform the first 3 tides without any harm, he had to have 3 seals of supreme combat exercise. For the middle 3 parts, 7 seals are necessary, and last 3-part whole 10 seals are necessary. This skill not only requires seals for vitality, but also need a strong body to bear the pressure of the skill. This is a really amazing skill. It's really hard to satisfy its conditions. I could only try my best. After combing through Neil and Andrew's bodies, we also go through there and got surprised what we found. It was out of our expectation to find so much stuff, although it is not comparable to Sean and his team had given his, but still there is a lot. They must have killed quite a lot of people to gain this much stuff. I quickly made a list of stuff we have gathered. 4 camps, 7 armors, 6 pair of shoes for shields, 2 masks, 12 weapons, 5 backpacks, and all of them are grade 1 artifacts. Of the potions, there are 67 mana potions, 17 vitality potions, 19 healing potions, 8 antitoxin potion, and some other medicaments. Not only this, there are some rough, unrefined mana cores, ores, herbs, and some miscellaneous stuff that we can seem to identify. We divided all the stuff in 60-40 fashion. We are not on the same level, so there is no question of dividing loot equally. 60-40 is perfect for us. I will definitely get more than 2 million credits selling them back at home. I just hope I can return home safely, without any accident. I changed my old gear for a new one from the loot. My backpack, armor, and shoes were low grade. The new one which I chose is the best quality, especially for specialist grade evolver. They are way better than my old gear. I removed the space pouch from my pocket and enlarged it to put all the things inside it. And even after putting all things inside, there's still some space left inside. I told Rhea about my plan to keep alive, try colored poison frog alive, and sell it later when we get out of this realm. Although it will be a little dangerous, keeping poison monster in our backpack is well worth the price if we're about to sell it in the market. I decided that Rhea should keep it in her backpack. Even if she got bitten by it, she will have enough time to drink the antidote, unlike me, who will not survive its poison for long. Gur's sound came out of Rhea's stone panda's stomach. Ashlyn also has been demanding food for some while, but I set her to wait. Hearing my answer, she flew away, saying she spotted some fruit trees near, and she was going to eat to satiate hunger for a while. Hearing sound from her stomach, I also started to feel hunger. We should make something to eat. Rhea said. I nodded and called back Ashlyn telepathically to check the cooking ingredient left behind by Neil and Andrew. Chew. Ashlyn flew into camp with bright chirp. Ashlyn, check if any of these ingredients are poisoned. Choo choo. She chirped in affirmation and started to look at ingredient one by one. Choo choo choo. Chirped and pointed her wing at a small bottle of spice. Is harmful? Rhea asked Chew. She chirped in affirmation after she checked the rest of the bottle, but did not find anything suspicious. Seeing there is no problem in the ingredients, Rhea started to cook food with the help of Ashlyn. We had decided to rest for today to heal our injuries and adjust our state of mind. I am still very shaken at the death of Andrew, and it will good for taking rest as a healthy state of mind is necessary for any dangerous adventure. Seeing there is still time for lunch to be ready, I decided to clean the camp. We have made quite a mess around the camp when we fought earlier. As I am cleaning, I reminisce the fight between me and Andrew this was one of the most dangerous fights I've ever fought. Now that looked how I fought, I understand my fatal weakness, and from today, I will never make that mistake and never will be depending on one thing and make sure that I will always have a life-saving measure. Rhea had already finished lunch and serving the plates when finished cleaning the camp. I quick freshen up and walk toward the table to eat. This table is also courtesy of Neil and Andrew. We ate silence as our minds are busy with our worry. The only ones making sound is Ashlyn and Dee Dee. Let me clean the dishes. I offered. Rhea had made the lunch, and it is only right that I do the dishes. I'll be in the tent then, she said, and entered the tent. In 10 minutes, I finished cleaning them. I picked the Ashlyn off the table and entered my tent, which is adjacent to Rhea. We have been sleeping in the same tent for a few days, and now that we extras, we decided to use them separately, as everyone needs to have some private space. The new grade 1 tent that I got from the Andrew is big. I can easily practice those weird moves of Nightblade style here, which I will be performing at night. And not only that, but this camp also has a bed, table, and cupboard which I materialized and dematerialized whenever I wish. But currently, I only need a bed for now. I laid on the bed and opened the folder of 9 Raging Tide skill. This skill is way more simple to understand compared to Blazing Strikes. After all, there's a difference between sky and earth between them. I'm sure I can completely understand the first 3 strikes in 2 days' time and probably able to perform it by tomorrow night. I can only perform its 2 strikes without injuring myself. If I perform the 3rd strike, even after drinking Andrew's vitality potions, I will still get injured. I spend the whole day studying the skill, while in the evening I perform those weird moves of Nightblade style. Rhea made the dinner as usual. After eating dinner, we went to our separate camp. I again studied skill for a few hours before sleeping, as tomorrow we will enter the valley. All done, I said to myself as I put back tent into my backpack. We have both woke up at dawn, cooked food, and packed the leftovers for the night. I looked valley from me. Crossing it would be quite dangerous. Although I didn't believe Neil and Andrew ever entered inside the valley as they claimed, but I still think there may corporal grade monster inside the valley. Let go, said Rhea. I nodded and we both walked toward the valley. Ashlyn, don't fly randomly. This valley is really dangerous, I said to Ashlyn, giving her nature to wander around for snacks. Choo-choo. She nodded in affirmation. I was quite surprised she listened to me. Normally, when it comes to food, she had barely any care for me. Gurgle. We entered valley through the way of the stream. Walking through the center of the valley is shorted route, albeit little dangerous, but if all goes normal, we will be able to get out of the valley by early afternoon tomorrow. As we walk inside the valley, we did come across some monsters, but they soon finished by Rhea and me. Chew. Ashlyn chirped softly, warning to not go further. Ashlyn had been flying ahead of us, to keep an eye on the danger. Choo-choo. She chirped again, giving details of the danger ahead. She said that there's a group of high-level specialist monster ahead. Seeing question appear on Rhea's face, I told her what Ashlyn told me. We will pass by it, she said, and I nodded. We would be able to kill a few specialist-grade monsters, but we will waste too much time in the fight, and loud noises could alert the high-level monsters. As we walked, we come across many monsters, but we were able to avoid them and pass smoothly. If one traveled in the valley, he would feel calm amidst the cool breezes of the valley. One would urge sleep in the shadow of the trees. There is calmness, but there is also a danger. Ashlyn had noticed sleeping corporal grade monster earlier that we were barely able to avoid it. I am quite relaxed as I am walking with Rhea. The skill I thought would take me at least 2 days to learn, I learned it in one night and was able to perform its 2 tides. Not only me, but I saw Rhea also mastered the 3 tides. I saw her at dawn practicing the skill. Even if we come across an initial level corporal grade monster, I am sure Rhea can kill it with the help of skill. Time passes by, and it is late afternoon. We had already reached near the center of the valley. In the way here we come across 2 corporal stage monster, but we were able to avoid them with the help of Ashlyn. There are less than 2 hours to dark. We have to start looking for a good place to camp in an hour. Choo-choo-choo. Ashlyn came flying and chirped hastily. She is saying that a group of monsters is coming toward us. Rhea, it was too late as 5 yellow lightning tigers came toward us and stopped just in front of us. There are 5 yellow lightning tigers. Of the 5 monsters, 2 monsters at the initial level of corporal grade and peak level of specialist grade, while the other 3 at the middle level of specialist grade. These monsters are really big. The leader yellow lightning tiger double of size, while specialist grade little smaller. They are called yellow lightning tiger because they have shiny dark yellow coat and sparks of lightning could be seen on their paws. In time of battle, this lightning spark turned into lightning that wholly covered its paws, and every strike of these paws is destructive. Growl! The leader of the tiger growled and looked at us intently. He just testing us, but looking at its expression, it will attack us any moment. I silently took my hand toward my right pocket. This time, I'm going to use my knight grade sword from starting off the fight. Growl! The leader of yellow lightning tiger growled at us and attack. Just as they attack, Rhea summoned her monster. I quickly activated my weapons. I already had my shield bracelet hidden under my sleeve and sword at my hand, and moment notice, I activated them both. I got quite scared when I saw 4 specialist grade yellow lightning tiger was attacking me, but thankful Dee quickly appeared in front of the peak level specialist grade monster, leaving me deal with 3 mid-level specialist grade yellow lightning tigers. Bam! Thud thud. As monster's paw strikes my shield, I felt shocked over my body, and I have to take steps back to defuse the blow. I became quite shocked as I experienced the blow. I currently constructed 2 seals, and my body is a lot stronger. It is stronger than the attack of Andrew when he was using skill. Both Andrew and these monsters are at mid-level specialist grade, but monster casual strikes stronger than Andrew full-on attack. I have to be careful of these monster. I would lose my life if I made any careless mistake in this fight. I have to dodge attacks of 2 monsters while taking a step back. They are really relentless, not giving me any chance to attack. It's a good thing that I modified my shield to the half-meter round shield, which is not too smaller, but not too big. It's perfect in defending against 3 monsters back-to-back attack. I am using both my sword and shield in defending, as I am not getting any chance of defending. I am currently not circulating any moves of supreme combat exercise, as I am preparing for the skill. I started to regulate my mana, as the skill stated, but it is difficult as I am getting attacked on all sides by 3 monsters. Soon I finished circulating skill, and power started to rises, and I attacked the power of the first tide, which doubled my strength. Clang! Clang! The monster defended my first strike, but no worries as I start circulating the second tide, and my strength increased by 1 time more. Slice! Slice! My speed was so fast that even monster barely able to notice it, and I was able to injure 2 yellow lightning tigers. Gruel! Monsters growled in pain as I injured them. Growl! Monsters growled with pain as I hit them with my swords. Using the moment of the skill, I put away the distance between me monsters for a moment. The first 2 moves took nearly 25% of my mana. I am feeling a little tired right now, but I can perform skill one more time. Using little distance between us, I again use the skill. This time I am aiming for only 1 monster, which previous injured. Clank! The first tide is countered like earlier, but it won't be able to counter my second strike. Slice! Slice! I swing my sword toward the already injured monster. My sword consecutive cut across his back 2 times, injuring it more. Growl! Growl! And come towards me. It's good that I already put some distance between us, which will give me enough time to drink the potion. Using this skill only 2 times drained 50% of mana and made me tired. I won't be able to skill for half an hour. I can use it forcefully, but it will damage my body. I opened option bottle and directly threw into my mouth as monster is coming and started circulating first move supreme combat exercise. Bang! Thud! Zin! All 3 monsters attacked me at the same time. 2 I defended with my shield and sword, but the third one sneakily attacks me at my waist. Fuck! I curse as a bone of the hip broke due to monster's sneak attack, but that's not the worst thing. The worst thing, lightning in its paws has numbed me, and now all 3 monsters are coming toward me. Go to hell! I shouted, and increased the size of the shield to the maximum without care of mana. As I pour my mana into it, its size started to increase, and it only stopped increasing when monsters about to strike me. Bang! Thud, thud, thud! Pooh! When all three monsters' attacks crashed on my shield, I have to take more than 10 steps back and had to vomit blood and potion bottle, which is in my mouth due to shock I received in my internal organs. Besides some internal injuries, I got a pleasant surprise that I unconsciously circulated second and third move of Supreme Combat Exercise. I got quite surprised seeing maximum size of Shide. It doubles the size me and can save me from all the attacks from one side. I quickly changed the size of shield back to normal as it was taking a shitload of mana to maintain its size. Growl. Growl, growl. Yellow lightning tigers again attacking me again, but this time I am prepared. Clank. My sword clashed against the pawa of a yellow lightning tiger while dodged the attack of the second monster and used mine Shide to defend against the third. Now that I saw the complete power of yellow lightning tigers, I can defend and attack them strategically. These three tigers have very good teamwork and have power comparable to normal peak specialist evolves, but after all they monstera with limited intelligence. With correct strategy, I minimize my losses and maximize my offense. Longer the fight is more advantage it will have for me. I keep attacking and defending against the monsters. I did uninjured and broke few boned, but it is not serious. Soon the 20-minute over. Now I can again use my skill. First tide, I said in my mind as I attacked the monsters. This time, I have spitting headache in my mind, as if someone hit my head with countless hammers. I am using skill, circulating Supreme Combat Exercise, and operating my refinement engine simultaneously. Last time when I used my skill, I only kept the refinement engine running and did not circulate the Supreme Combat Exercise. But this time I'm doing that. I can feel the veins on my head are popping one by one due to strain. Slice! Slice! This time my attack landed on the monster at the power of the first time. Without wasting time, I used the second tide. Slice! Slice! Sluice! This time I attacked so strategically that monster didn't have time to defend against my moves. Growl! Monsters growled as I attacked them one more time with skill. This my attack is only targeted at only one monster. One yellow lightning tiger is heavily injured by my skill. Next time when I will use my skill, I am sure I will be able to kill it. Rhea and Didi are doing well. Fight between corporal level monster and Rhea in a standstill. Rhea is too fast with her night grade boots that monster is having a hard time catching her, but she is also not able to injure the monster. On the other hand, Didi and Yellow Lightning Tiger, she fighting, are equally matched. Both of them had injuries all over their body. The only one free is Ashlyn. She is not going to be much help in this fight. She is mutated Gray Spark Sparrow, who is known to be one of weakest monsters. She was able to contend against same level monster back home, but in this realm, the monster is unusually strong that she is having difficulty injuring monsters the same levels as her. I asked her to keep a lookout to see any strong monster came toward us. Time passed on as we fight. I kept defending and attacking yellow lightning cats. Thud! I finally killed the first yellow lightning tiger. Now that one is dead, I will have a little easier time killing these two. Roar! Seeing their king dead, they roared and attacked me in frenzy. Already expending this, I defend against their frenzied attacks. Fuck! I cursed when I noticed unusual fluctuation, and when I looked up I found that corporal level monster is leveling up. We have to run. This thought came to my mind. Once it finished leveling up, it will easily able to kill us, and we won't be able to run from our death. I was about to shout Rhea to run when I sensed another fluctuation, and this time it is coming from Rhea. That when I noticed Didi is nowhere to be seen. Fuck me. I said as found Rhea also is leveling up. What a fucking coincidence. What a fucking coincidence. That both of them evolving at the same time. Well, it's a good thing that Rhea is also evolving. If not, we have had no option but run, and our chances of getting out uninjured weren't that good. It will take them 15 to 20 minutes to level up. I really want to see how powerful Rhea will be when she became corporal level revolver. Shit. I cursed as I again got injured while drinking a potion. I just had killed their kin, seeing that they became frenzied and started attacking me like a mad, that I barely got any chance to attack. Clank! I defended against the monster attack, while retreating using that force. I thought I will have a good time. These fuckers making me really want to kill to them. I cursed. I wanted to forcefully use the skill using Vitality Potion, but I controlled myself and keep fighting the normal way. If I forcefully use the skill, I will definitely face problems later. Clank, clank, bang. I kept fighting the monster while biding the time to use the skill. In frenzy, these monsters' speed and strength had increased, but as the time passed, I grew familiar to monsters' frenzy as we fought on and started a counterattack after understanding their rhythm. Although my normal attacks still can't injure them much, but it boosted my confidence. I am confident to kill them without using the skill, but it would take me a lot of time. It's a good thing that my speed had increased. Earlier, when I used my skill, I kept circulating supreme combat exercise and mana refinement same time. I felt huge pain doing that. Some of the blood veins on my head had popped up. It was so painful that pain from circulating supreme combat exercise paled from it after I finished using the skill. I noticed that I accidentally circulated the 3 moves of supreme combat exercise, reaching the 6th move directly. Nearly 10 minutes passed since I sensed Corporal Grade Yellow Lightning Tiger and Rhea leveling up, but I didn't sense much change in Body's monster, but fluctuation is getting stronger. Rhea is drinking 1 potion after another in process of leveling up. She probably drank 5 or 6 mana potion in past 10 minutes while fighting against 2 monsters. Seeing she is effortless dodging attacks of 2 monster, I feel a little jealous. Rhea's forte is not speed, but stability and strength, but wearing Knight Grade boots, speed had also become her forte. If I had that Knight Grade boots in my feet, 2 monsters would have been lying on my feet right now. Only really using it one can know the might of Knight Grade artifacts. Now I'm pretty sure that day, when Jim and his girlfriend had come to my Asta Forest to hunt monsters with me, they were also wearing Knight Grade artifact from head to toe. Their Knight Grade artifacts were a better grade than we have, but lower grade than teams from Central Continents were using. Now I truly understand. That day, when they were hunting monsters with me, they only used about 30% of their power. If they used their full ability, they would have killed the monsters in 2 to 3 strikes. If I do get chance, I'll try to acquire Knight Grade armor and boots. With this full get-up, I will rarely find my match within the same level unless my opponent is also wearing Knight Grade set. 25 minutes had been passed since the level process started, and fluctuations from both them had reached near the peak. Gruel. Corporal level Yellow Lightning Tiger growled loudly, and yellow light covered its body. Any attack from Rhea unable to penetrate that yellow light. Rhea looks fine from outside as she fighting peak Specialist Grade Yellow Lightning Tiger, but fluctuation from her also reach a peak, and she could level up at any time. Thud. Head of Peak Specialist Grade Tiger fell. Earlier she was fighting both Corporal Grade and Specialist Grade Yellow Lightning Tiger. Whenever she tried a lethal attack on Specialist Grade Monster, Corporal Grade Monster swooped in to save Specialist Grade Monster. But now there is Corporal Grade Monster to save, so Rhea easily able to kill it within a minute. Our eyes met, and seeing I'm doing fine, Rhea put a large distance between her and Corporal Grade Monster and drank 3 mana potion back to back. Bang! I used me to slam 1 monster. It didn't do any harm to it, but doing this saved me from the attack of another monster. Enough time had passed that I can safely use my skill 1 more time. This time I am planned to heavily injure at least 1 monster. First tide, I shouted, loudly attack the monster with the power of the first tide. This time also, I feeling spitting pain in the head. Slice! Slice! I attacked neck of the monster. I got quite surprised that move blow landed. I thought it would dodge and will attack it back. Now that I have a chance, I circulated the second tide without wasting any moment. Second tide, I shouted again. I don't why, but shouting move's name gave me some sort of confidence. I can only shout in a front monster like that. Shouting front the person would be an idiotic choice. Poochie, my sword directly pierced through its neck. This time this my aim and hit it in the perfect spot. I quickly removed the sword from its neck and put some distance between me and monsters while I still have power. Grillel, Gruel! It growled in pain as it went mad in the Ace of Death. This Yellow Lightning Tiger will be dead soon from bleeding. It would have been able to heal if it was made by my normal sword, seeing its huge size and healing power monster, but when my piercing its throat, I increased the size of blade 4 times the normal, making the wood unhealable. Although it cost me quite a bit mana, but is worth it. I quickly drank the potion as I'm dangerously low on the mana. Crack! Crack! The yellow light shield surrounding corporal level yellow lightning monster started to crack. Rhea! I shouted in warning, but there is no change in her as she rooted in her spot without responding, just her aura change into corporal level like a monster. Boom! Roar! Yellow light broke boom, and yellow lightning tiger comes out of it just in bigger size. Growl! It growls toward Rhea and took a jump at her. Under arm-sized paw, she would definitely get squashed. Rhea! I shouted top of my lungs, but there is no response. As I thought Rhea definitely will get squashed under claws of a yellow lightning tiger. A crystalline thing shot of Rhea. Boom! Yellow lightning tiger momentum stopped by that crystalline thing. It was so bright that I didn't get the chance to do what that crystalline thing is. When the light dimmed, I got a clear look at that thing. Gasp! I gasped seeing that crystalline thing. It's Panda, a panda which looked like it made of diamond. That's not the most shocking thing. The most shocking thing is its size. It's barely 2.5 foot tall, more than 5 times smaller than when it was a stone panda. It is a panda monster with diamond-like skin. I'm sure it's Didi because only she could come out of Rhea like that. I felt a little confused about 2 things before quickly understanding them. When Didi was a stone panda, she was nearly 5 times taller than her above 2 foot tall size, and the second thing is her strain. If she had activated the dormant higher strain in her body, she would have become Iron Panda, but not an Iron Panda. She is mutated, sometimes when leveling up stages instead activating higher strain, sometimes monster-activated mutated strain. Ashland mutation is different. She is born mutated. There are many things related to monsters that shocked one to the core sometimes. Although every mutation brings good qualities isn't true. Sometimes abilities of monsters regressed in mutation, but clearly Didi's abilities had taken a huge leap. Despite being an initial level of corporal grade monster, she was able to stop the blow of strong, mid-level corporal monster head-on without getting injured. That is a testimony of her new abilities. Stone pandas are an average monster, but looking at the performance Didi's diamond form, she can definitely include in the elite monsters list. Growl. The monster growled in frustration, seeing its attack had failed and attacked again, but this time Rhea had come to herself and charged toward the monster. As she charging toward the monster, I noticed that there's a faint layer of diamond skin flickering on Rhea body. I got quite surprised seeing that. When Didi was a stone panda, she didn't give Rhea any power except for enhancement in strength and defense, but looking at a layer of diamond on Rhea's skin, I am sure Rhea got diamond skin ability from Didi this time. I sucked a deep breath at that thought. She was already powerful to begin with, and now, gaining diamond skin, a top defensive ability, she had become even more powerful. I really want to see how powerful Rhea had become now that she had leveled up to corporal grade. Bang! Rhea crashed with a yellow lightning tiger head-on. Although she had taken steps back after still clashing with Minster head-on without receiving injuries, shows her formidable offense and defense. Even I, when fighting against a monster in front of me, did not clash with the head-on. I always use my shield, and whenever I use my sword for defense, I used in a way that I receive minimum damage. Normally, everyone does that. Monster strength is always 2 or 3 times more than humans, but we used artifacts, skills, and our intelligence to beat them. Rhea probably clashing against the head-on because she wants to test her strength, otherwise she wouldn't have asked Didi to stand by. Thud! The yellow lightning tiger fell on the ground, withering in the pain as it was dying due to blood loss. Growl! Growl! The corporal grade and specialist grade, both monsters growled in anger, seeing their kin fell. Corporal grade yellow lightning tiger had rushed toward me, but stepped by Rhea in midway. Growl! It growled at Rhea fiercely and attacked her, but she countered its attack effortlessly. Like me, Rhea's normal attack can't heavily injure the corporal grade yellow lightning tiger, but she used skill. She can definitely kill it with the power of the third strike. She could have easily killed right after leveling up, but she is using it, dummy, to get control over its strength. When she felt she had enough, she will kill it using the skill. Now I have only one monster to kill, and I am confident in killing it within half an hour. Slice! Slice! I keep attacking, but other than normal wound, nothing happened to the monster. Only using skill can I do any real damage to them, but to use a skill I have to wait for 15 minutes more. Growl, feeling frustrated that any of its attacks aren't landing on me. It attacked me again. Despite its ferocious attacks, I am easily able to dodge its attack because of supreme combat exercise. Earlier when used skill, like before, I kept circulating supreme combat exercise and refining mana. Just like when I used the skill before that, I felt pain as if thousands of hammers striking inside my head, but rushing power of skill had diverted my mind from pain, or I would have directly fallen unconscious. When I check which moves of supreme combat exercise I reached after performing the skill, and I was quite surprised to find out that I advanced 4 moves and my circulation had reached. I am so happy knowing this. Not because I advanced 4 moves again, but I had found a new way to advance moves of my supreme combat exercise. I know it will not be forever as supreme combat exercise advances. So, is its pain as it will be many times worse than hammering headache that I feel using the skill. I just hope that with this method, I will at least able to create the 4th seal. No, I don't need help. I said Didi had come closer to me and asked if she could help me beat this monster. Ever since she leveled up, she only had a chance to attack 1 time, and Rhea took over and asked her to stay put. And when she comes to ask if I need any help, I also declined her request. Poor Didi, she had just leveled up, but did not get chance to test her powers against monsters. If was fighting 3 monsters like earlier, I would have accepted her help unhesitantly, but now I can kill in a few minutes after I use my skill. Thud. I heard a loud thud. When I looked up, I found that Rhea had killed the corporal level monster by piercing its skull. I should also finish this fight soon. I thought 20 minutes had already passed since I used my skill last time. It's time to kill. First tide. I shouted, and the power of the first tide started to run into my body. Slice! I attacked its neck with power first tide. It dodged an attack by its neck, and it landed on its back. Second tide. I shouted, and my power increased 1-fold in the first tide. This I will definitely kill it with the power of the second tide. Poochie. I pierced its neck directly. It tried to dodge it, but my sword was too fast to dodge it. Thud! It fell into the ground as removed the swords from its neck. I finally killed 3 mid-level specialist grade elite monsters with my own. I let all go and sat on the ground as I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. Now that I let go all of it, I feel splitting headache. My earlier using skill, refinement engine, and supreme combat exercise, I put a lot of strain on my body, especially head. A lot of blood veins on my head popped open. I don't think I will able to use 3 of that thing together for the next week. I sigh and regret thinking that. I am sure that if fought 2 or 3 mid-level specialist monsters again, I can definitely create the 3rd seal. Just thinking about the 3rd seal, my eyes became dreamy. After creating the 3rd seal, I can fully perform the 3 strikes. At that time, I can even survive from peak level specialist grade monster. When I opened my eyes, I found Rhea is dissecting the monster corpse, yellow lightning tiger's coat in high demand and very expensive, and being a corporal level monster. Its meat going to be really delicious. I also started to dissect the 3 yellow aligning tigers. I only took its claw, coat, and core, leaving everything else in the body. I would have taken heart meat, but I already saw Rhea taking the meat of corporal grade monster that will last us for a week. It's getting late. We should find a spot for camp, said Rhea. I nodded. The dark is approaching. We should really find a spot quickly as possible, otherwise we will come across more monsters we can handle. We hurriedly started to search for the camping spot. Finding the good spot in limited time in this sort of place is really hard. The sky had already turned half dark, and we are hearing all sort of monster noises. If not for Rhea and Didi intentionally radiating corporal grade, aura, lots of monsters had already attacked us. I think we're currently in yellow lightning tiger's territory. That why we didn't come across any corporal level monster, but our luck won't last long. If we keep roaming for a spot, some corporal grade monster bound to notice us and will attack. Choo-choo. Ashlyn come chirping from the sky. I asked Ashlyn earlier to check if she could find a spot from the sky. Did you find it? I asked her in expectation. Choo-choo. She nodded in affirmation and started to fly toward that direction. We quickly follow her. It is quite near as we reach there in 10 minutes, But when we reached there was quite a problem, as it was occupied by some specialist grade monster. Without me doing anything, Rhea and Didi attacked the monster and finished them within minutes. Seeing Rhea had removed the core, I summoned the fire to burn the bodies, but stopped by Rhea. "Don't burn the bodies. It will attract the monsters. It is better to bury them in a hole," said Rhea. "I am such an idiot. I can't understand some common thing. Didi, dig the hole and bury those bodies into it," Rhea said to Didi. Nodding cutely, Didi started to dig a hole little further from camp. Being corporal grade and earth level monster, Didi had dug a big hole in few minutes and buried the bodies in too. By the time Didi finished, we also settled in the tent. "Give me the leftover. I'll heat them," I said to Rhea. In the morning, Rhea intentionally cooked the large meal, so we could eat it in the camp at night, as we can cook in the valley and attract the monster. Rhea handed me the food, and I summoned the fire to heat. I am heating the food in the camp, so the smell didn't spread outside. After heating it, I served plates to everyone, and like always, Ashlyn is the first to dig in. While eating, I started to look at Didi. Earlier, I didn't get a chance to take a good look at her in clear light. Like I suspected, her whole body had transformed into diamond-like material. While it looked hard diamond skin from far, but it is like normal skin, soft when you touched it. I even touched Didi's head in confirmation. Seeing me touching Didi's head, all three of them looked at me weirdly. I checking her skin is hard or soft. I explained hurriedly, seeing them looking at me weirdly. "Chew," Ashlyn chirped, snorted hearing my explanation. "Her skin turned hard during combat, right?" I asked Rhea. "Yes, it turned hard and her defense also increases," Rhea explained. I thought so too. When Didi was Rock Panda, her skin also works like that, so it's plausible that after she it works the same way. Not all monsters seeking work like that. Some earth elemental monster skins always hard or soft, and they never change during the contract. Rhea offered to clean the dishes. I obliged and started to study Skill 9 Raging Strikes. I am pretty sure that I will be capable of performing 3 strikes soon, and I want to ready for that. Although I already got the hang of its 3 tides, I want to reinforce my understanding of it, and I used this skill many times today, and I've come across many problems that I want to clear them. I offered to take the first watch as I had taken the second watch yesterday. "Okay," she replied. After 2 hours studying 9 Raging Strikes, I clear all my doubts that were bugging me. Seeing I made enough progress in today, I closed its folder and opened folder Blazing SDRKES2. Blazing Strikes being night grade skill is very complicated and one can't understand it in a short amount of time. Still, I studied a few hours every day. I had woken up Rhea after the time of my watch over. I fell asleep soon after waking Rhea up. I woke at dawn to find Rhea is already ready. I quickly freshened up and took out packet food to eat as breakfast. Although it is tasteless compared to cooked monster food, it is our only option in the forest. Ashlyn didn't want to eat, that demanded that I cook food for her. Getting angry, I gave her choice, either eat it or stay hungry we get out of the valley. She reluctantly ate that, but stayed angry at me. We packed our camp and started to travel after seeing enough light, as we want to be out of the valley by the afternoon. On our way out the valley, we come 2 corporal level monsters. One initial level, while another is mid-level, but Rhea handled them. While those special level handled by Didi, that I had only killed 2 specialist grade monsters. I can see the end of the valley as Rhea, and I hastily walk toward it. It not a walk, but near jog. Finally, I shout out loud as we walk out of the valley. I couldn't control myself and let out a shout of happiness as I got out of the valley with Rhea. I was high on my nerves in the last 1.5 days. Only after getting out of valley did I felt safe again. I opened the map and checked for the location of a small lake that we have tried to reach past few days, and from the map, I can see that we just have to walk for a little more than an hour to reach there. We picked our pace without wasting time, although it not necessary for us to go there as our main objective to find a way to reach home. But now that we have to know about gathering from Andrew and Neil, we still want to go there if someone is there or not. It will be good if we found someone there as well companions on the way to gathering, and even if we did not find anyone there, we will make the journey toward the wasteland, although it will be dangerous. What choice did we have? As time passes, the lake appeared before our eyes. Walking near it, except for a few monsters, we didn't discover any human. Didn't that tree stump little odd? I asked as we found a large tree stump near the lake, as there are no large trees near the lake. Yes, really odd. she said. We walked toward the tree stump. As we drew near, we noticed that some paper sticking on the tree stump. It's the paper. The same paper that Andrew and Neil showed us, which marked the destination of the gathering. Someone must have left it here, others to find. She said, yes. Looking at all signs around here, there were a lot of people here yesterday. If we had arrived here yesterday, we would have been able to catch up with them, I said. Let's look around the lake to see if we could find anything more, said Rhea. Okay, I replied, and we both started to look around the lake yesterday. The lake's serene. Except for few low-level monsters, there is nothing else. This small lake should be the territory of corporal-level monsters and its specialist grade minions, but there's no sign of it. They probably killed and hunted, then eaten by the adventurers who stayed. Except for a few footprints and snack packs here and there, I didn't see anything. Did you find anything? I asked. No, there is nothing. She replied. I have expected we find nothing, but there is also an exception and don't want to miss anything. We should set up a camp. She said, right. I said and started to find a good place to set up a camp. I soon found a good spot and activated 10 artifact there. We both are feeling tired and wanted to rest a little, especially Rhea, as she fought most. I'll cook today. You should get some rest, I said when I saw her making for cooking. She didn't deny it, seeing firmness in my voice. I'll take a swim first, she said when inside the tent. Ashlyn, keep an eye out. I asked Ashlyn, seeing she is lazily resting on the roof of the camp. Choo choo choo. She chirped in annoyance, as she still isn't talking to me since morning, but seeing I am making food, she stood up on her tiny little legs and started to fly around the tent. As I am preparing the food, Rhea comes out of the tent wearing a swimsuit. I look for the second and looked away before she could notice me staring at her. Despite looking away after taking a look only for a second, the memory of Rhea in swimsuit had itched in my mind. Rhea is only 17 and hadn't fully matured yet, but she still looked stunning. Her perfectly toned body without ounce on fat it. Her breasts that hadn't fully grown but still looked full that one wanted to do countless things with them. As Rhea walked toward the lake, I got the clear look of her perfect back and her ass, and it feels amazing. Although I don't have any feelings for Rhea, other friend, but seeing a beautiful girl in a half-naked cloths, anyone's emotions will rise, especially 16-year boy who is high on hormones. And that swimsuit didn't help either. It is very revealing that left little to the imagination. We have found this swimsuit with some other girls' clothing in Neil and Andrew's camp. They must have trapped some poor girl in their vicious scheme to have ladies' clothes in their camp. I quickly controlled myself and cast out Rhea's half-naked form out of my mind and fully concentrated on the cooking. I had learned a lot from watching Rhea and Andrew cooking, and I am quite sure in few days of cooking, and my cooking will equal to Rhea's. I am thinking of taking weekly cooking classes if I am successfully able to leave this realm. Only after living in the forest this week, I knew the importance of good food, and if I am able to leave this realm alive. But before that, I have a head home. Sunday has been passed, and seeing I hadn't called and received their call, my parents must be worried sick. To pacify their worry, I have to head home and see my haul this time. I can definitely bring back lots of gifts back home. Soon Rhea comes out of the lake with water dripping from all over the body. It will be very hard to sleep tonight with this memory in my mind. You should rest a little. Lunch will be ready in half an hour, I said after keeping my emotions in check. Soon lunch is ready, and I called Rhea and Ashlyn to eat. In the morning, we only ate some packaged monster meat. We quickly finished eating. After eating, I also take freshening dip in the lake, as I had had a proper bath since the cave I found Rhea in. After bathing, and we packed the camp and walked toward the wasteland, as we have only 7 days to cross the wasteland to reach the Sin Forest. It's been 3 days we've been walking in the wasteland. It is very hot that we have to drink water every half an hour, and we don't have any form protection from this intense heat. It's a good thing that we don't have to worry about the water, as we had packed enough before venturing into the wasteland. My skin had become dry, and I had parched lips, this journey really getting on my nerves. Sometimes I feel like throwing all down and then crush them with my feet. The wasteland is so hot that Ashlyn, who always liked to be outside and cooped up inside me, no matter how many times I call her come out, she wouldn't listen. She only comes out at evening and integrates into my morning as it started to become hot. We had expected to see someone as we journeyed toward wasteland, as nearly 5,000 had entered this realm, but we saw no one. Fucking shit. This realm is so big that we can hardly come across anyone, and the only highlight of the day when some sand monster or bird monster attack us. That is the only time that I forget about this fucking heat and fight to forget all this. I sighed as looked at the time in front of me. There are 2 more hours till evening. That means we have to walk to more fucking hours. I try to pass the time by reading and watching movies and videos in my holowalk. I just have to brighten it a little to see clearly in bright daylight. I feel a little weird doing that at first, not to say dangerous, as any sand monster could attack us at the minute, but I succumb to boredom and forget the danger that might attack me out of nowhere. Although it felt weird watching movies and videos while waking in this dangerous environment, but seeing it is the only way to pass the time as I walk. Seeing Micheal also started to do that to pass the time. Time passed on, and soon 2 hours over, and the sky started to darken, and we set the camp. If we walk this speed, we will reach the Sin Forest 3 days later, she said as she studied the map. I nodded as I looked toward the map. We have strictly following the route on the map, and based on the distance we covered in 3 days, we can deduce the time we will need to reach the forest. That is 2 whole days before the end date. We can travel this fast. It is all due to Rhea. Whatever monster that comes to our way have been killed by Rhea in minutes. The strongest monster we ever faced since traveling Wasteland is sandworms and sand snake monster, which are killed by Rhea, so most of our journey had been smooth sailing. Choo-choo. Ashlyn comes out of me, seeing it is evening, and he help is needed in cooking. I and Dee keep a watch while Rhea and Ashlyn are cooking. Past 3 days, whenever we cook, many small monsters had always come attack because of smell. So, it is easy to kill them or shoo them away before reaching the camp. Having decided with this makes this job quite easier. Bam! Dee killed another monster that had come near the camp and expertly removed its core for Rhea. In past few days, I have been observing Dee quite closely, and I found the conjecture right that I had made earlier that Ashlyn's intelligence is comparable to corporal-level monsters. She and Dee had a similar level intelligence, but when Dee and Ashlyn level up another level, Ashlyn will leave behind Dee in intelligence. From the birth, Ashlyn had high intelligence, and she leveling up, it is increasing at an alarming degree. Gray Spark Sparrow is known to be mediocre in intelligence, but Silver Spark Arrow Ashlyn is mutated, and maybe that mutation had given her intelligence. If only this mutation had spread to her strain, making it high level, at least to be at the lieutenant level, that would have been great. Dinner ready. Choo-choo. Ashlyn and Rhea both called out at the same time as dinner readied. Let's go, Dee. I asked little Panda Dee, who was trying to pick 4 specialist grade cores in her light paws. She somehow manages to pick them and walk toward the camp. It's been 5 days since Dee level up. She can't control her body at the delicate level. It would take her another week to do that. Inside the camp, Rhea already had served the plates, and Ashlyn had already started to dig in without waiting for us. As we eating, I asked the question that has been bugging me since this afternoon. Is your mana purification slowed down after 88%? I asked. 2 days ago, my mana reached 87% purity, then suddenly slowed down, as if stopped purifying from past 2 days' increase in my mana purity minute. It is even slow compared to the speed of back home. It happens to everyone. It happened to me, too, she said with a laugh as I asked this question. She stopped for a while before answering, as if finding the right words for it. It is called the Great Limit. It happens after mana reached above 85%. My mana reached Great Limit at 88%, she said. The Great Limit? I've never heard of this term before. Seeing I am not understanding, she answered patiently. The Great Limit happened when once mana reached above 85%. After our mana reached above 85% purification rate, our mana started to slow down extremely, and it does not matter how good is your purification engine is. She said, I also reached a Great Limit at 88% mana purity, and it took me near a year to make 90%. It would have taken more if not for me entering this realm. She said, I understood everything after she explained in detail. Looked like Blazing Strike have to wait for a little more than expected to be used by me. After that, I cleaned the dishes and started reading as Rhea sleep. Today is my turn to take first watch. I looked at the sleeping Rhea and sigh. Whenever I look at her, The memory of her in swimsuit flooded my mind, especially time like this when I can hardly control my hormones. Taking a couple of deep breaths, I calmed myself and studied skill blazing strike for a few hours before waking up Rhea for her watch. Next day, I was woken up by Rhea before dawn as we made our preparation to leave. After freshening up, we ate the leftovers of last night, and by the time we were ready to leave, the sky had brightened a little at the dark. This is yet another day to walk, including today. We have to walk for 3 days to reach the Sin Forest. Cheap. Ashlyn chirped as she flew in the air. If not for this early morning and temperature is still not high, she wouldn't have come out of me. She would fly mostly for an hour before it became too hot for her flight. She will integrate with me. I am currently listening to popular songs which I brought a month ago to pass the time. I wouldn't have listened to such loud music if not for Ashlyn keeping watch from above. If any monster did come, Ashlyn will spot it with her bird's eye view and will inform me immediately. I stopped on my tracks and turned off the music as felt vibration under my feet. Looking at the vibration, there seems to be only one monster, but that monster is big. Thud. Growl. A big sandworm monster comes out of sand directly in front of us. I quickly activated my boots and swiftly retreated from the monster as it is an initial level corporal grade monster, which is way above my league. Rhea didn't wait for my retreat and directly went for the monster while activating her broadsword midway. And looking at her speed, she is definitely using the skill from the start. This monster dead. Growl. The monster growl and instinctively felt a premonition of death as he tries to burrow back to sand, but before it does that, Rhea already reached it and attacked. Boom. 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 3 consecutive booms rang out as Rhea attacked monsters with 3 consecutive strikes if the skill. When the sand is cleared, I found Rhea is removing the core of the monster and monster had been cut into 3 pieces. Bam! Ashlyn released a series of the fireball from above after Rhea was done removing core. The core of monster started to burn after Ashlyn's series of fireballs fell on it. I and Rhea both don't like the meat of the earthworm monster, seeing how ugly it is, and also there's that nauseous smell of earthworm minster emits after dying. We didn't take a single look at the monster and started to walk as this had become a common occurrence. Whenever we come across any monster, especially corporal grade monster, Rhea attacked it directly, and after killing it and removing the core, I burn the monster's body and we move on. We come across 3 or 4 times such occurrence daily. Most of it the time it is single or 2 monsters, but sometimes a group of the monster also attack. That time 4 of us have to fight, either to fend off or kill the group of monsters. Sometime later, Ashlyn integrated into me due to the temperature being too hot. Walking in this intense heat, I sometimes wondered why humans can't integrate into a monster. That would have made my life much easier. I would have forced Ashlyn to fly in the heat for at least a half a day while I rest inside her. That would have been great. Chew. Ashlyn chirped in a snort as she felt my thoughts with our connections. I am just joking, Ashlyn, I said in pacifying tone, but she ignores it without saying anything. I just smiled and went back on reading. I am currently reading Herb Encyclopedia that I asked from Rhea. I have pitifully low knowledge of herbs, and as we were going to the Sin Forest, I am pretty sure that we will enter the forest, and when we enter the forest, I don't want to miss precious herb that will come my way. I know it is far-fetched to hope I will find any super expensive herb, but there is a no loss in reading the Herb Encyclopedia, and it will help me identify some rare herbs. It's been 2 days I've been reading this book for a few hours a day, but still, I wasn't able to finish 10% of it. I don't know how that alchemist and potioneers memorize these tens of thousands of herbs to smallest details. Some herbs have so weird names that pronouncing them is difficult, much less memorizing them. Take this Okebduempri Hretzt. It is extremely hard to pronounce them. Taking a deep sigh, I kept reading them. I don't memorize this herb. I just try to make myself familiarize with them. So when I come across that herb, gave me familiar feeling, I can pick the herb and search about it later. Not only I asked her about her encyclopedia, but I also asked for ores as well. I entered this reel accidentally, but when I leave, I want to leave with fortune, and for that reading, these books are necessary no matter how boring it is. I read both of the encyclopedia a few hours a day, both to gain knowledge and to pass the time. Time passes on, and now it is mid-afternoon. This is a time when the temperature at its peak. If you threw the water on the surface, it will start boiling. That's how hot it, especially in the middle of a wasteland. Normal private grade evolvers won't able to cross this wasteland alone. They will die before they could ever reach the middle of it. Thud. Rhea killed another monster. This is the 6th corporal level monster we encountered today, and just an hour ago, I killed 2 specialist grade monster. We are encountering monsters frequently today. We had already encountered 6 corporal level monsters and 19 specialist grade monsters already, and it's only afternoon. For the past 3 days, we hadn't encountered more than 4 corporal grade and 10 special grade monsters. Looks like close we are getting to the Sin Forest, the more dangerous it will get. Do you hear something? Rhea asked. I shook my head and no at first, but then I tried concentrated. I did hear some sound. There's some sound coming in front of us, I said, and we hastily started to walk towards that sound. But this time we are careful and prepared not to fall in a trap like last time again. As we grew closer, we noticed a few figures. When we get closer, looked at, they seem to be fighting monsters, and they are not faring well as there are more than 10 ministers attacking 7 people. We broke into a run to help them. No matter they are fellow men, and it's moral to help them if we can, and it is in our profit to help them travel the wasteland going to be dangerous. The more people we have journeyed, the safer we'll be crossing the wasteland. We ran towards them while activating our artifacts. As we got close, we got clear looked at the fight that made me so shocked that I nearly stopped in my tracks as I wanted to run in the opposite direction. What shocked me was the monsters. They are one of the most dangerous monsters in the wasteland. They are sand scorpions. We come across it only one time, and it was mid-level specialist grade sand scorpion. It had taken me more than 2 hours to kill it, and by the time I was finished dealing with it, I had injuries all over my body. There are 12 sand scorpions that are attacking the adventurers and looking at their sizes for our corporal grade, while 8 are specialist grade. Specialist grade sand scorpions are nearly double the size of a normal person, while corporal grade is triple the size. They are really giant monsters. I was wrong about one thing, though. When I looked at the fighting scene earlier, I thought there are only 7 people with their monsters or fighting the monsters, but I was wrong. There are 2 more. A boy and the girl are laid on the ground. They're either dead or unconscious. Of the 7 people who are fighting the sand scorpions, 4 are specialist grade and 3 are corporal grade. Of the 7 people, the highest level boy, who is at mid-level corporal grade and is fighting against 2 initial and mid-level scoring alone. Except for 2 in aqua blue clothes, all are in dire need of help. If they did not receive any reinforcement or not have any strong trump card, then they will die within an hour or 2. There are no running away from these monsters. The wasteland is their territory. They can easily follow you wherever you ran. Seeing Rhea and me running toward them, hope had arisen on their face for a moment, but seeing we are only 2 of us, and I'm only at initial level specialist grade, their faces fell as they did not expect much from us. I had activated both my knight grade sword and shield, as these scorpions are elite monsters. We decided not to show specialty of our knight grade artifacts like size manipulation and instant activation and deactivation. We are helping them now, but once our fight is over, greed can rise in anyone's heart. So, Rhea and both decided, while in the company of outsiders, we will refrain from showing the special trait of our artifact. When we were 50 meters away from the fight, Rhea and I separated as we had already chosen our opponents. She is moving toward the corporal grade evolver, who is fighting against 2 sand scorpions, and I also moved toward the girl and her monster, who is also fighting against 2 monsters. That girl was so busy dodging pincer and stinger of 2 scorpions that she didn't notice that coming to help her. First time, I shouted the skill name in my mind as I am 20 meters away from my fight. My speed suddenly increased as I activated the skill, but this will not last long, as First Tide's power will only last for 3 seconds. With the power of the First Tide coursing in my body, I swiftly ran toward the sand scorpion while avoiding its pincers. Boom! Crack! I directly attack its head, and a layer of sand cracked a little. Second Tide. I circulated the second move as I saw poisonous stinger of the scorpion coming toward me. There is no way to dodge despite the power of the second tide causing through my body. That stinger is too fast, and closing on my swiftly, All I could do defense with my shide while being careful of its pincers. Bam! I defended my shield and used that force to put some distance between me and Scorpion to put some distance between us. Boom! As I am retreating, Azure Stag of that girl attacks Scorpion's head with its horns. Stag monsters are known for their nimbleness and fast speed. It took the stage a single second to attack and retreat. No wonder that this girl is without much injury and survived 2 mid-level Sand Scorpions despite being at initial level Specialist Grade Evolver. With such speed and nimbleness, she can survive peak level Specialist Sand Scorpions, much less 2 mid-level Specialist Grade Sand Scorpions. She flashed me a grateful smile and attacked the other Sand Scorpion with her Stag monster. Quickly drinking potion, I continue my dance with the Sand Scorpion. It is very difficult to fight Sand Scorpions. Aside from its 8 legs, which gave it free movement, it has 2 sharp pincers which can crush me in the single move if I get caught in them. It also has a super fast tail with a poisonous stinger. If I got hit by it, I will be good as dead. Choo-choo. Ashlyn suddenly comes out me, which startles. Usually she stayed inside me till evening and didn't come out even if I'm fighting. This time she comes out on her own. I thought she would help me fighting the monsters. Although her attacks couldn't do any damage to the Sand Scorpion, it will at least annoy it, but no, she didn't give the second glacé to me or Sand Scorpions as she flew into the air and started hovering around the fight scene. I wanted to ask her, but the stinger of the monster came at me so suddenly that leaving me no choice to defend against it. It's not even giving me a second of rest. It had very fast speed with its 8 legs, and it could do super fast attacks with its pincer and stinger. Fighting it, I feel like I've become Monkey who was dodging its attack one after another. Yes, I shouted in happiness in my mind as I circulated to the 16th move of Supreme Combat Exercise. I have been trying since yesterday, but the pain is so intense that I failed every time. Ever since I had entered the Wasteland, I've never used skill Supreme Compete for Exercise and Refinement Engine same time. Although that method helps in advancing moves of Supreme Combat Exercise, it also put a lot of strain on veins in my head. Its damage had been so bad that I still feel a slight headache at nights. I had decided to wait until my head stopped hurting at night before using that method again. I don't want to have any lasting injury that will leave problems for my future practice. The battle against Scorpion had been going on in full force, but no Sand Scorpion had been dead yet, but it will be soon. The 2 people had been laid unconscious, had also got up and joined the battle, because that the pressure on those who were surviving against 2 Scorpions had lessened. The purple suit boy who had been fighting against 2 corporal-level Sand Scorpions got help from Rhea, which has given him enough time to feed the antidote and healing potion to 2 poisoned people. Within 10 minutes of drinking potions, their condition becomes good enough to fight with Scorpions again. It has been 20 minutes since I used skill. I just have to wait for 5 more to use it again. The Sand Scorpions are a lot harder to deal than the sandworms and snakes. These Sand Scorpions not only have speed, but also great defense. When earlier I attack its head with the power of the first tide, but all able to make a slight crack on its defense layers. It is very difficult to kill it. The best way to kill Scorpion is to cold cuts its tail and then pierces the sword through its eyes. Stars in twilight. I heard in a soft voice when I looked from the corner of my eyes. I saw that purple suit girl's sword is coated in gray twilight, and faint stars could be seen twinkling in it. She nimbly went near the Scorpion and attacked near its head while swiftly dodging its stinger and returned back before a layer twilight on her sword isn't yet to be disappeared. I'm a little shocked seeing that her skill's power is a little greater than the power of my skill's first 2 tides. Her attacks had left visible marks on the Scorpion. The only bad thing is this girl is a little inexperienced in fighting, or those 2 attacks of her would have been way more lethal if they had landed on the perfect spot. After she attacked, her Stag monster also attacked the Sand Scorpion without giving a chance to retaliate against its master. Compared to a Sand Scorpion, that Stag monster is way too fast and nimble. I quickly concentrate on my fight, seeing Sand Scorpion's stinger coming toward my direction. Crack! Shit! I cursed out loud as my bone cracked by Sand Scorpion's pincer, which attacked me from the right side. Thank God. That is his bone by hip Not if shoulder, else it would have really affected my fight against Sand Scorpion. I have to careful against it in the future. One injury in the wrong place can completely affect my fight against it. Soon the 5 minutes passed, and I'm free to use the skill, but I did not use it immediately, but waited for a good moment to strike. Not soon after the opportunity had arrived, and I quickly activated my skill. First tide. I shouted loudly, no matter how weird it felt shouting the skill's name out loud, but it helps a lot mentally. Whoosh! I dodge its pincers as I move toward its head with the power of the first tide. But this time Scorpion was ready in attack with Stinger, so I could not attack it head, but I laughed seeing this because it behaved the way I wanted it. Second tide. With a shout, power of the second tide started coursing through my veins. With the power of the second tide, I took the jump and landed on the Scorpion's back and moved toward its tail. Its tail is fast, but not flexible as it cannot reach toward its tailbone, and there is no question about its pincers reaching there. I smile after seeing Scorpion moving here and there to shake me off its back. Bang! Crack! My attack landed on its tailbone, nearly cracking it in half. After this, Scorpion's tail will not be fast and agile as before, and every time it will move its tail, it will feel immense pain. From the start, my target was its tail. As long as I cut its tail, the Sand Scorpion will lose more than half of its power. With its stinger gone, its pincer will not be much threat as their range only half of that of its piece. I quickly jump off the Scorpion from its backside, but Sand Scorpion had quickly turned with its 8 legs and started to hound me like a mad dog. It even using a tail despite being its half cracked. I am barely surviving its attack, and my boots and shield is busier than my sword. I sense the moment on corner of my eyes. It was Stag Monster of that purple clothed as it is speedily moving toward its direction. Attack on its tail. I shouted seeing it is moving to attack towards the head. It starts at first with my loud should but nimbly changed her course and attacked toward its tail. Bang! It hit the same spot on its tail that I hit earlier, damaging it further. Well, at least this monster is better than her master. The monster has a better battle instinct than a master. The Sand Scorpion went mad receiving this attack, but it could not find one who attacked it. Only I in its immediate sight, so it transferred its the rage at me and started to attack me like crazy. It's good thing that Stag gave me enough time to drink the potion when it attacked the Sand Scorpion. Crack! Another bone in my body broke. I have attacked many times by this mad scorpion in these past 15 minutes. That stag monster also attacked it 2 more times, that it is barely able to control its tail. The girl in a purple suit and her monster would have already killed the monster they are fighting if not for her being inexperienced. She's also at initial level of special grade like me, but she is more powerful both due to her monster and her physique. Soon comes the time of me using the skill again. This time I plan to completely get rid of Monster's tail and kill it in a few minutes. First tide. I activated the first tide and ran toward the monster. Sensing a change in my aura, it becomes more cautious toward me. The tactic like last time won't work, as it has already become very cautious around me. There's only one way, but it will be very dangerous. I ran toward it, but as it moved its pincers to attack, I smiled fearlessly and run toward the pincers. Second tide. Upgrading to the power of the second tide, I did not dodge the pincers, instead jump on them. The pincers were so fast that even Scorpion could not change their course. Thud, leveraging my feet against its pincer, I took the second jump toward the back. That was a really dangerous move. If a slight mistake occurred in my calculations, I could have directly dive into those pincers and cut into 2 pieces. I am in mid-air with a sword in my hand when I saw a scorpion stinger coming directly at my head. If I didn't do anything, I will surely die by its stinger. Without panicking, I started to think of the way to escape, as dodging the attack in mid-air is really difficult, and normal methods won't work. When stinger only an inches away from me, a really dangerous idea comes into my mind, and I didn't know it will work or not, but I don't have any choice. If I didn't do it, then only death is awaiting me. I released a blast of fire from my waist and used that force to whirl my body in midair, dodging its stinger by fingernail distance. It was a really dangerous gamble. I hadn't used my fire ability in days in combat, as it little to no use, but just now it helped ditch the death. With the power of flip, My speed increased more as I dived downward towards monster's tailbone. I still haven't forgotten my aim. With the whirl that I've done in the air a moment ago, I am in a much better position to attack than before. Kapak! Thud! With the power of the third strike, I attacked the sand scorpion's tail, cutting it directly from the tailbone. Thud! I fell heavily on the sand and found Scorpion screaming shrilly while coming at me with vengeance in its eyes. I am finished. I have no way to dodge this attack, but suddenly a stang came to my rescue and attacked the monster's head, giving me enough time to flip in the sand and get up. With Stag Monster's attack, I got enough time to get away from the monster and throw a potion bottle in my mouth. My eyes flashed with envy, seeing young stage monster hopping here and there with its speed and agility. Scorpion's eyes red and it looking at me in vengeance. It's good thing that I had cut off its tail, so there's a lot less pressure on to defend against. Wish! Dodging its pincer, I jumped on its back. Although my normal attacks can't do much its defense, and there's also strong layer protection on its eyes also, I will need both speed and strength to pierce its eyes. Dumb beast, I am here, I shouted as pierced the wound on its tailbone one more time. It absolutely went mad, suffering repetitive injuries from me, and tried to burrow into the sand, but I pierced its wound one more time to make it angry stop from burrowing in the sand. With its pincer gone, it can't do anything to me as long as the back, where it was at that place its pincer can't reach. I kept attacking a tail wound, and whenever its pincer's away, I would try to attack its eyes, but it is very hard. It is very sensitive. Whenever I try to attack it, it will form its defense layer. The defense layers on its eyelid are strong as its head. No matter how hard I try, I would only able to make scratches on it. Without the power of skill, I will not able to do anything to it. The scorpion that Rhea fighting is at its last legs. She would be able to finish it within a few minutes. Not only she, but Didi is also helping one boy fighting an initial level sand scorpion. The whole fight's going in a frenzy. One could die if one made the slightest mistake. My luck was good earlier that stage monster, that purple suit girl, saved me earlier, or I definitely would have to lie in the pieces. Except for the girl in purple. All people here seem to be quite experienced and fine. This girl must have been quite sheltered to not have fighting experience. Thud. One sand scorpion fell dead on the sand, as it is killed by a boy who is wearing a similar purple suit as the girl. After killing first sand scorpion, he ran toward one girl who is having difficulty against corporal level sand scorpion. As the fight goes on, Rhea also killed the sand scorpion she was fighting and went to help another fighting corporal level sand scorpion. There's still 15 minutes till I can use my skill again. If I had 3 seals of exercise, 5 minutes breaks would have been enough between using the skill. Whoosh! I dodge another pincer of the monster as I am trying my luck on its eyes. I have to say, it's been more than an hour since I started a fight with this sand scorpion, but there is a decrease in its intensity of attacks. Even after me cutting its tail, its speed and rhythm did not decrease, instead increased. I have danked 3 potions since I started fighting this monster to fill my refinement engine with mana. This is one of the things men always jealous of monster. Within save level, even a normal monster had nearly 5 times mana that of mana, and they're no talking about the elite monsters. Clank! While fighting, I also kept eye on the Ashlyn as she roaming the sky around the fighting scene. I asked her why she comes at me at this where the temperature is very, but she didn't answer and kept flying around the scene. I sometimes wanted to beat her arrogance out of her. I don't know where she got from. Since the time of her birth, she had been arrogant, as if looking down on everything. 10 minutes till I can use my skill again. No matter how much I try without skill, it is very hard to kill these sand scorpions. I sometimes wonder if I would have able to survive in this realm if we hadn't got a skill from Andrew and Neil. I would have been very hard, and maybe we both have died, especially when we were fighting yellow lightning tigers in the valley. Coming back to the present, all is going relatively well. The fights are turning in the favor of us, especially after 2 corporal level scorpions dead. After remaining 2 corporal level monster dead, all 4 corporal grade evolver can easily kill remaining specialist grade monsters. But it would take time. I hope to kill this sand scorpion on my own without getting help from corporal level evolvers. I have only one chance to do. When I use skill, I have to use the skill at the perfect time, so could kill it in the one move. It is time. I said as the interval time of using the skill is over. Now I just have to make strategy and wait for forfeit time kill it. I again jump off in the back and stayed where its pincers cannot reach me. As I waited, 5 minutes later, I got perfect chance to attack it. First tide, I shouted, and the power of the first tide coursing through my body. Since the hike in my energy, Sand Scorpion became an ally after sensing my hike in energy. This time strategy is quite simple. I will act like I'm going for the eye, but when trying it pincer in defense of its eyes, I will flip in the air and pierce its head with the power of the second tide. As I ran toward its eyes, it moved pincer in defense of it, but sudden as if it predicted my strategy, it put pincer on its hearing. Second tide, I did not dwell on it much and activated power of the second tide, since it had given me its eyes. Let's see if the power second tide can piece the defense lawyer of Ida, closed eye. I screamed loudly as bring down my sword with all the power I had in me. The tip of my sword touched the protective layer of it felt resistance. Without caring, I put all mana I have in me into the skill to increase its power. Poochie, with an increase in power, my sword directly pierced through its eye, killing it wholly within second, without giving it any chance of resistance. Thud. The scorpion fell with a thud as I still on its back, gripping my sword tightly with my hands. Strong hot wind had instantly dried all the sweat I had on. My body, the wind had risen this past hour. It would have been very nice if the wind had been a little cool. The hot wind of the desert feel lacerating on the skin. I tried to stand with the help of my sword, but failed due to weakness. I am drained both in mana and physically that I don't want to lift a finger. Still, I move my hand toward my pocket and remove 2 potion bottle. One is mana potion while other is vitality potion. Vitality potion will help me remove my physical weakness. Opening the bottle, I drink 1 potion and another and wait for them to take the effect. Slowly weakness of my body recede and my mana also starts to enter the refinement engine. 5 minutes later, I had enough energy to remove my sword from the eye of the sand scorpion. When I look around, people are still fighting the monster, and I got quite pleased seeing I am the only one specialist grade evolver that had killed the monster first. Looking at corporal grade evolver fighting, I can tell that they will kill last remaining 2 corporal level monster in a minute or 2 as they were fighting 2 against 1. After corporal grade monsters are dead, it wouldn't take too much time to kill the rest of the specialist grade monsters. I noticed that after I drink the vitality potion, sometime later 2 seals of supreme combat exercise had absorbed the remaining vitality potion into them, and looking at seals, in less than 5 minutes, I can use the skill again. The reason I wait for 25 minutes for using skill, so that vitality can charge again in the seals, as 9 Raging Tide skill, both needs vitality and mana to operate. The winds have become more ferocious than before, but seeing we have experienced this type of wind many times, I didn't take it hard. After 10 minutes, I became good enough to fight again. After seeing all the fights, I decided to help a girl in a purple. Need help, I said as defended against the blow of Sand Scorpion that girl is fighting. Yes, I will be grateful, she said, giving me a smile. I never had taken a good look at her. Now that I looked at her, she is quite cute. She is about my age with strawberry blonde hair and blue eyes. She still has baby fat on her cheeks, and when she smiled, a dimpled form on her cheeks, which made her look very cute. I got quite surprised when I saw the fist holding Thunderbolt sigil on her suit. It means she is from Thunder God's arena. As I am fighting the Sand Scorpion with the girl, I notice extreme emotions from Ashlyn, saying the big danger is coming. What danger? I asked her telepathically, but she didn't answer, just that danger is big. No matter how smart she is, she still has the intelligence of a toddler. Something she can't convey even if she wants to. Chirp, chirp, chirp. She kept chirping loudly that people started noticing. What happened to that little bird? Is that silver birdie went mad? They said seeing loudly. What happened? I heard Rhea asking loudly as she is a little far away and wind it little strong. She said the big danger is coming. I shouted. Rhea nodded, and suddenly her attacks and speed become even faster. Look, she was holding back something. Do you want to kill Sand Scorpion quickly? I asked Purple Hair Girl. I myself would have killed this monster in my time, but after hearing Ashlyn's warning, I decided to help the girl killing this monster. She had been fighting this monster for quite a while, but didn't even manage to seriously injure it. Looking at her attacks, she is definitely more powerful than me despite both us being at the same level. If she had the little battle experience, she would have finished this sand. Okay then. Tell your monster to hand its pincer and I will handle its stinger, Tail. All you have to do is activate your skill and pierce the eye of the monster using all your strength. I said, and remember, I can hold off that tail for 6 seconds. I stated, Bitsy, hold off Scorpion's tail pincer for few seconds, will you? Said girl lovingly to her stag monster. Her monster neighed in affirmation and looking excited. Ready then? I asked. Their girl in purple nodded with a serious nod. First tide, I shouted as I activated the power of first and jumped on the scorpion's back as stag monster is holding back its pincer. Second tide, I activate the power of the second tide as I was stinger is coming toward me. Bang! I defended against it, but suddenly it taunts back and move her towards its I know that girl arrives near its head. Ah! I screamed loudly and attacked the tail of a scorpion to obstruct it from attacking the girl. Clang! I felt a large amount of traveling to my arm as I obstructed tail. Stars in twilight. I heard behind my back, and I know that girl is using her skill, but the tail is also coming toward her again. Power of skill is gone. I have to defend against with my own power, I thought, and readied my shield to defend against it. Poochie! A heart and scorpion slumped on the ground, but tail still coming, and I have obstructed it. Bang! My shield closed against the dead scorpion tail, and next moment, I flew away from it back and crashed on the ground while having some fractured bones and blood in my mouth. But when I was standing up from the ground, I saw a faint cloud of dust at very far away, but it is slowly coming you toward me. If one doesn't look carefully, one would not notice it from this far away. My gaze just lucky to spot. I immediately made a connection with it. Heavy wind and Ashland's warning. Sandstorm. I should top of my lungs with extreme fear in my voice.